All right, welcome everyone. Make some noise for Dana. All right, I wanted to say thank you to Dana's family and my family for basically this night. And most importantly, Dana, she's playing basically 100% of the wedding. For those of you who traveled, we very much appreciate it. We're very happy you're here. We feel very loved and supported by all of you guys who traveled here tonight. I myself would like to thank Dana's family. They've welcomed me in with open arms since the day I met them. I'm not too sure how thrilled Dana was with how good of friends I became with her brothers, all of them, and her brother's friends. And then I'd like to thank John and Mary for bringing Dana into this world. She's beautiful, she's smart. I couldn't be luckier. And the second reason would be you guys take my side in every single argument that they have. So it's great. Dana and I are very grateful everyone's here tonight. I just want to give you a couple of reminders. So there's QR codes at everyone's table. Please take pictures and upload them. We also have a audio guest book up in the house up there, so please leave us a voice message. And then after the reception, if you're still feeling lively, we're going to Ohio Groom Company on Front Street. Feel free to join us, and we'll see you on the dance floor.
Just want to tell everybody, if you think I'm nervous, my children are terrified. I'm not exactly the master of the English language, but we'll get through this. First of all, I'd like to say hello to everybody, and welcome to Dana and Nate's big day. I would like to thank Ellen and Wes for the wonderful rehearsal dinner they gave us last night, and the most important thing is bringing Nate into this world. He's a wonderful kid, and we're so happy to have him part of our family. Thank you. I can't believe this day is finally here. I bet you guys are so excited and relieved. Also, let me say, Dana, your creativity is unmatched. And Nate, your labor is unmatched also. As I was thinking about what to say today, I had been watching this show about a man that had choices to make in his life. And in this show, he was able to see what would happen if he made different choices. So I started to think about that and the choices that we all made to be here, and the choices of our generational ancestry to be here. And I will skip the stuff about the ancestors, and we will go, that would take way too long, so we're not going to do that. All right, I will start with the first choice of when Mary and her friends and me and my friends decided almost 40 years ago to go to this place called the Beach Club. It was an old bar in the flat way back when, and that's where our paths would cross. Had one of us decided not to go that night, who knows if Mary would have had another chance to throw herself at me like she did that night. Let's fast forward. Mary and I were married, and yada yada. We had 3 kids, and 3 happy and healthy kids. Then we made another choice to have another child, and this is where Kate and Dana entered our lives. Right from the beginning, their personalities were evident. During feeding time, I would always take Kate because she was a little more chill and like a hippie like she is now. Mary would always handle Dana because she was a little more intense and a little more strong-willed, just like she is now. I really didn't give much of a thought of what it must have been like to be a twin until recently. I was thinking it must be both a blessing and a curse. The blessing being your sister is always there. The curse being your sister is always there. Luckily for Mary and I, Kate and Dana enjoyed most of the same sports together, and they had a lot of the same friends. And many of them are here tonight from when they were little kids. There are many Dana childhood stories, but I told Dana I would only keep it to one. As a child, Dana was very strong-willed, and when she got something in her head, there was no changing her mind. Right? For some reason, when Dana was very young, her quotes became famous in our family. One of these, when Dana would get mad at one of her brothers or sisters, everyone would scatter, and then she would come to me and say, "I'm going to punch so-and-so right in the face." If any of you seen her hit a heavy bag, that is not an outcome any of us would want. After high school, Dana and Kate made the choice to go to OU together. As years went by, Dana, like her sister Sam, decided to be a teacher. And I believe this is a great choice because I've seen notes from her students how they love her and they all want her as a teacher. But during her senior year, she decided to make a choice. She decided that drinking and her did not get along. So she decided to quit. And along with the help of her family, friends, and her cousin Brian Maloney, and her strong will, she made it stick, and Mary and I could not be more proud. It was at this time she met her state champ. Now wait, Nate, every time I say that, he says, I came in second, but you know what, I wasn't there, so I can say whatever I want. During their senior year, their relationship grew. After graduation, they moved to Columbus for a while, then made their way back to Cleveland and lived with us for a while. This is when I really, really got to know Nate. He was the perfect house guest. He was very kind, considerate, and very helpful. And I thought, why do I like this young man so much? And I thought, oh, he's just like me. After moving to Cuyahoga Falls, they were soon engaged. Then finally, we got to this day. Dana and Nate, I know your grandparents would be very proud of both of you, the ones that have passed, and they are watching over you today. Dana, I will speak for your mother. It has been a pleasure to continue to be, and will continue to be a pleasure to be your mom and dad. You're a wonderful human being, and we love you so much. A few pieces of advice that has worked well for me. Number one, don't take yourself too seriously. Number two, the best feeling I get in my life is when I make other people happy, and it's good for the soul. And lastly, this is more for Nate. If you get a text in the middle of the night or anytime during the day and it says chocolate malt ? Don't ask any questions, just go get it and bring it home. And the last thing that, Nate, I know that you have been denying these things for at least a year, and now I want you to enjoy them. You gotta show people. Dana and Nate, may they have a long and happy life together.
For those of you who don't know us, we are Dana's older sisters. Sam is the oldest of the family, and I'm a whole 9 minutes older. A fact that Dana is reminded of often.
First of all, Dana, you look incredible. And Nate, you clean up pretty nice too. We want to thank everyone for coming out and celebrating these two wonderful people.
All right, we'll start off with Nate. You think we'd be tapped out on brothers at this point, but I guess we don't mind adding another to the roster. Like my dad said, something that sticks out to us the most with Nate is how much he reminds us of our wonderful father. If you guys know our dad, you know that he is hardworking, loving, and never hesitates to put anyone in front of himself, and that is exactly how we view Nate. Not to mention, they both have a weird obsession with going to the grocery store. Nate is always looking for ways to be helpful, and I don't think I've ever seen him put his needs in front of Dana's. I know for a fact that half of their communication is Dana shouting something from across the house and Nate rushing to comply. Not only do I see my dad in Nate, but I also see myself. Although Nate is not as funny as me, the way Nate cares for Dana is the way I care for Dana, and I don't think I can put into words how important that is to me.
As for me, I knew Nate was a keeper when he heard me talking about Lion Cub cookies and brought them home from Columbus while on a work trip. That level of thoughtfulness is rare. Nate, you are compassionate, kind, and truly an overall great guy. You keep Dana in check and treat her with so much respect. We're thrilled to have you officially part of our family. Now let's talk about Dana. As the older sister, I often think I should be the role model, but honestly, I look up to Dana and the incredible life she leads. Being 7 years older, I always felt like the second mom in our family. However, when I had my firstborn Barrett, I called Dana for help, and she came over and stayed the night. She instinctively knew how to handle everything better than I did, and in days I learned so much. She is the best Aunt Dee Dee to Barrett and Bo, and I cannot wait to see her as a mom someday. No pressure, at least for me.
Dana, you are quite literally my other half. Being a twin is an interesting life. You are two people, but most of the time you're grouped together as one. Any feelings that Dana felt, I would feel. Anything that affected Dana would also affect me. So, seeing you fall in love over the past few years has brought me as much joy as it's brought you. I have been with you before we even existed in this life, and have had the honor to see you grow through every phase. I cannot wait to see how much you grow through this next phase with the love of your life by your side. You are passionate, caring, strong-minded, and know exactly what you want, except when it comes to choosing a fawn. I can't wait to see how much more you accomplish, and I know for certain that having Nate by your side will make your life nothing short of exceptional.
Dana is incredibly resilient, and when she sets her mind to something, nothing can hold her back. She has had a profound influence on my decision to stop drinking. I remember feeling a bit irritated when she gently suggested that I should probably consider it. But deep down, I knew that she was right. She inspires me every day, and I'm so glad I listened, because now we can share our love for mocktails together. She is also one of the most creative and compassionate teachers I know. Even though we don't work in the same district anymore, I still remember her showing up with coffee after a long day, right as I was gearing up for hours of parent-teacher conferences. That simple gesture made my entire day. She made countless signs for my classroom on her Cricut, and we often call each other to vent about our students or share funny stories from our days. Dana, you are loyal, compassionate, athletic, and truly one of a kind. Your passion for everything you do is admirable, and I'm incredibly grateful to have a built-in best friend who can also give me fashion advice and occasional life coaching.
Now, I think I can say I'm pretty picky when it comes to who I see myself spending my life with, but it's hard not to be when your relationship is the one I'm comparing it to. Since you've been together, it is obvious to us that you are meant to be. For being older siblings, we have always been protective of Dana and have had her back. It brings us so much peace knowing that we can confidently hand Dana over to Nate, knowing that he will have her back no matter what. Nate, you are her person, and it shows.
Okay. The icing on the cake that you two are meant to be together came a few weeks ago at Dana's bachelorette party. Nate recorded himself answering questions about Dana, and we had her do the same before revealing his answers. I kid you not, their responses were identical. Nate knew about her love for Real Housewives and her dream date night, while Dana knew all about his obsession with locks. Literally, Nate watches the automatic door lock turn to make sure the door is locked for sure. If that isn't a match made in heaven, I don't know what is. So let's make a toast. To Dana and Nate, we can't wait to see the beautiful life you two create together. You are a true team, and it's clear you are meant to be. We are genuinely honored to be part of this journey with you, and we can't wait to witness all the wonderful adventures that lie ahead. We love you guys. Cheers.
All right, thanks, guys. So when I typically have to write a paper or speech, I usually start with bullet points and try to create the story after. So for the months leading up to this, I've just had a bunch of bullet points of the first things that came to mind when I thought of Nate. The first one I had was random opera-style singing. For those who don't know, Nate has some pipes. His favorites, as a kid, he'd randomly burst out in a song without warning. His favorites were Ave Maria and some Elvish singing from Lord of the Rings. You know, all very pleasant things to hear on a daily basis. And maybe if we get a few more drinks in him, he'll jump on the mic later for us. Second one I had was just Nate as a child, always stripping down naked, jumping on a tricycle, ripping it through the neighborhood, and trying to escape our mom. I mean, if that doesn't describe Nate in a nutshell, I don't know what does. But I couldn't figure out how to fit most of these into the speech, so we'll just leave it with that. When I think of Nate, I think of someone who can get a task done. He's a very focused, hardworking guy who goes from point A to point B. This has served him well as he's grown up. He's been very successful in school, athletics, his career. He knows how to put his head down and complete a job. This is nothing new for Nate. He's been this way his whole life. But this does carry over to activities that normal people should enjoy, such as leisurely hiking. So we go camping every year in Pennsylvania, and we would do things together. So we'd be about halfway through a hike. Everybody's having pleasant conversation, looking at their beautiful surroundings, and we'd realize we lost Nate. We'd look up about half a mile ahead, and there he is, head down, looking at absolutely nothing, at the pace of a slow jog, just gunning it up the mountain. You think, okay, well, Nate's just maybe he's excited to see the view at the top, but he would take about 20 seconds, and boom, he's right back down that mountain to complete the mission and check out hiking for the day. Growing up, I was often introduced as Nate's little brother. It was the same for Drew, but I got it a little bit more often with Nate because we're closer in age, and this carried on even throughout college as we both went to OU. And it was always excitement when they learned I was Nate's little brother. I was always welcomed when I was around him. And I think this kind of goes to show what kind of person Nate is. And the type of respect that people have for him. I think you'd be hard-pressed to find someone that doesn't get along with Nate. And how couldn't you? I mean, he doesn't say much, and he's always got that weird little smirk on his face. We call that the Nate smirk. But in all seriousness, Nate's been a great big brother, always making sure I'm well received wherever I go. And Dana, you look beautiful tonight. I'm not sure I've told you this story, but the first time I met Dana, it was around the time of my birthday, and Nate brought Dana over to say hi. I'm not sure you two guys were dating at this point, and I'm honestly not sure what we talked about, but I do remember my mom calling me later in the week, and she said, Nate's been talking about this girl. Have you met Dana? She said, yes. I was like, well, what do you think? I said, she's absolutely perfect for him, definitely the one. She asked me to explain further, and I really couldn't. It was just a brief moment I saw you two interacting. I can tell you would end up together. I could see that you complemented each other very well. And by that I mean Dana did all of the talking, and Nate just stood there smirking. You're two of my favorite people. Love you both. Here's to Nate and Dana.